talked to, cussed out, whatever, they don't want to come back. Now then, for the money, you say what things weren't done. One, they didn't have the money at the time. Our sales tax really just started increasing. I guess our first deal was when we did Italianos. It followed up, I think, with them with, and of course that was an empty building. No sales tax coming off of that for just a couple of years. Where Jesse's Donuts is in that area, none of those businesses were paying sales tax. They were sales tax generators. But when I talked to Marvin, we weren't getting a dime off any of those businesses in there, nothing. When Chris Franks bought that building and told us, and we met with him, I don't know how many times Marvin and I sat down with him and went through this thing. Darren helped as well. We finally put the deal together, and like Steve had said, we protected ourselves. What people say, well, y'all just gave them city money. What we did, we put money out in front and invested in them with a payback. We said, and this is the way the deal was structured, is we're going to take what sales tax was currently going on that business, and we'll give you a credit. Well, there was no sales tax coming in, so they didn't get everything they made was going to be a gravy. Plus, we know you're going to have to invest, you're going to invest in the building, whatever the current property tax is. Let's say it's $1,000, just use it. When you bring that building from a $300,000 building to a $1.2 million building, that increase in property tax, we're going to give you credit for that for this amount of years. And at the end of this thing, if you exceed what we've loaned you to start with, you don't owe us anything. If there's a deficit, you owe us the balance. And that's the way we structured those deals, to try to help protect the funds that would help feed the next business that came in. So there were some challenges there that for years they didn't have the money to do anything. When we started, in the first, the people said they wanted to sit down in restaurants. That's what EDC went after. We got Italianos, we got Nish, the Mexican food place, Josephine, the
coffee place.
Boulevard Brew, all those things came in. Asian
China Express.
They didn't ask for any. People say, well, you didn't give them any. Well, they didn't ask for any. I went down and talked to the people when I first learned about it, and I told them what the program was. Again, here's the paperwork. Never heard from them. So don't criticize EDC for just picking their places. I can't do any more. I was then the president. I served for a number of years as the president. I did everything I could to help bring those businesses in and walk them through the process. Marvin spent a lot of time on it, as well as Paula, and all the city staff will work with them for inspections or whatever. So all this stuff didn't just happen overnight, but it took time to build up the money. Now we're showing the fruits of our labor. When I retired from the police department, and I had the crime district, which was half the same money that EDC gets. At that time, in 2012, we were barely making $90,000 a year. And that's what bought our patrol cars at the police department. I'm glad to see now that it's almost tripled that. And it just didn't happen. It happened because a lot of people here did a lot of work behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. And I'm glad to see the fruits of labor come. Now, we can do better, and I know we can do better, but we have to have everybody working together. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Okay, so now, I'm gonna open it up. If you'll come up, state your, even though I think we all know each other, state your name and your address for the record, and, we'll take your input.
You know, Darren and I were fighting over who was gonna come first.
You lost the
I will introduce myself just for a moment. I think the number will be closer to 80,000 a quarter.
Okay.
Pretty soon. I really hope it will. I was looking at some numbers today. My name is Charles Richardson. I serve at your pleasure on the Economic Development Corporation and Planning and Zoning Commission. I'm going to try to be brief for two reasons. One is I've got a medical condition that doesn't allow me to stand long. It's called old age. And the other reason is it's almost my bedtime. Yes, I had and one thing I'll do is make everybody in here a promise. I won't be mad at you no matter how this comes out. If we get mad at each other about how this vote comes out, there's something wrong with us as individuals. We shouldn't be sitting up here. We shouldn't be in this place. I would prefer the system to stay the same way as it is. That's just my preference. If you remember during, Mr. Mayor, during the budget session, you came to us and came to the EDC, not to us, asked for some financial assistance with salaries. And we provided that, I think to the tune of about $46,000. At that time, if you might remember, I'm not speaking loud enough, let me know if I'm speaking too loud. I made a request that we sit with the council and really talk about what our goals and missions were and how we fit into your system. And one of our newer council members agreed. That person said, yeah, we need to do that. I won't say who that was, but that person said it. I still believe that's what we need to do. And so when we talk about the Economic Development Corporation, we're talking about two different things possibly. We are talking about a public corporation. We're also talking about a function. Whether we call it Economic Development Corporation and act as a corporation, or if we act as an arm of the city of River Oaks, like a parks board or a number of other boards that you guys govern. That part doesn't make a lot of difference to me. It will to Marvin and how you structure things. The gatekeepers, as I call them. To me, that's what Marvin and Paula do, is make sure we all, including you guys, stay within the squares. They study municipal law every day, just like you do at your job, and like you try to do. Stay within the squares. I think however we do this and how this comes out, one of the things we desperately need as economic development members, corporation members, is training. You guys go to TML training. I worked for 35 and a half years in the business office of a large school district just east of here. I served 12 years as a board member where some of you work. We always had training, TML, TASB training, Texas Association of School Boards.
Marvin, when's the last time, do we make TEDC training opportunities available to the EDC members?
Yeah, we have.
I think y'all have training, you guys have training.
Yeah.
Again, to know the rules.
Yeah, no, we should be sending some number of y'all to TEDC every year. They do it. It's like TML, they do it different places.
My concern is less about the rules, about how do we optimize this organization. Now that we've gotten rid of the flat tire, and we finally got, as Dan says, we've have some wheels and we're moving forward, let's not stop. Let's see if we can accelerate that. I would love for it to be the opposite way. I'd really love to come to you guys as a corporation saying, what do y'all need now? What do you all need that we can legally and, provide to you? That's where we need to be. So however this turns out, I'm not going to be mad at anybody. I would just tell you, I think we need training. And however often it needs to be, I think we need to have some joint meetings where we can make sure that we are doing what you all expect us to do.
I think we need to do that too. So if we can look at, I know you'll have to reach out to council and the boards to see some dates that work, but yeah, let's see if we can have a joint meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And last but not least, while I got the podium, when I ran for the school board, I ran unopposed every year. Because I said, I